Shalom, shalom, Israel. First of all, I'll give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Today I'll be doing a lesson on Paul being rebuked. Because there's a whole debate that is Paul teaching to keep the laws, not keep the laws, be circumcised, not be circumcised. I'm here to end that dispute today. First, I'll start with Galatians 5, chapter 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. Christ is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, ye are fallen from grace. For we through the Spirit wait for hope of righteousness by faith. For in Jesus Christ circumcision availeth nothing, nor circumcision, but faith which worketh by love. Ye did run well. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth? So the main point was in verses 3 and 4. Basically, for I testify again to every man that is circumcised. So he's talking the circumcised, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. Christ is become of no effect unto you, whosoever of you are justified by the law. You are fallen from grace. So it kind of sounds like Paul just said not to do the law. But was Paul rebuked? Let's find out. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 21 through verse start at 20. Acts 21, verse 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord, and said unto him, Thou seest the brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law, and they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying they ought not to circumcise their children. Remember, in Galatians 5, 3, 4. Neither to walk after their customs. What is it therefore? What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. So, I believe it was James, brother of Jesus, was rebuking Paul a little bit. So, what is it therefore? Verse 22. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear thou art come. So he's saying people are going to come, and they'll know you're here. Do therefore this, we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Then them take and purify thyself with them. Be at charges with them, that they may save their heads, and all may know that those things wherefore they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. As touching the Gentiles which believe, Salakia, as touching the Gentiles which believe, we are written to and concluded that they observe no such things, save only that we keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangle, and from fornication. Now, they're not saying that you don't have to keep the law. That's just what was going around in the area where they were at. People were all off in things like idols and eating blood, like animals strangled with blood, and like fornication. So it's more like if you rebuke people on the normal sins that they have now, they'll stop and eventually do the other commandments. But basically, James was telling Peter, James was telling Paul to do the Nazarite vow, which you can find in number 6, verse 25. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangle, from fornication. Then Paul took the man, and the next day, purifying himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishment of the days of purification, until that an offering should be offered for every one of them there. Paul kept the Nazarite vow law. Now my last verse would be Book of Acts 16, same book, verse 3. This is Paul circumcising Timothy. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him before Salakia. Acts 16, verse 3. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters, for they knew all that his father was a Greek. So yeah, and Paul circumcised Timothy, which is according to the law. But if Paul taught against the law, why would he do that? I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.